in the throat. Where? 저 사람 저거 뭐야 저거? 저거 뭐야 저거? 빨리 좀 불러 빨리.
어떤 놈인데?
Boom! What's up, guys? Executive Protection Field Note. As you guys have probably noticed at this time, I don't generally do executive protection field notes on failed executive protection operations because I never like to throw EP agents under the bus. We make our living doing what we do, and a lot of things that happen are things that can happen to the best of us in the right conditions. Now, with this situation, with this assassination attempt, I'm going to run through this real quick because what has happened, and it is very tragic and unfortunate, and I hope that it can stop things like this from happening to guys out in the field. Now, the first thing you see is that the client is engulfed by people. Listen, even the best of us cannot necessarily protect you if you're breaking certain security protocols and allowing, or if the client has, if the protectee or principal has allowed themselves to be in a position of extreme tactical disadvantage. Now, the reality of executive protection is that some people, because of their brands, they want to be in the public eye. They, politicians and celebrities, sometimes they want to be able to be close to their fans. They don't want to give off the persona that they're not personable and that they're not approachable and things like that. And I understand that. And the job of a good executive protection agent and security team and program is to be able to help you do what you need to do for your brand, and should amplify your ability to serve your brand the way that you need to, right? But there are certain considerations that must be taken a very close look at when you get to a certain level. On the political side of things, when you have opposition and your risk level is high, being engulfed in this many people is just unwise. And so as a private security professional, we will make our recommendations, and this is what could have happened to this security team, but very often the client and the principal themselves will not listen to us. Now, the reality of the situation is who's responsible for your principal's protection, right? Who's responsible for your principal's protection? In the private security game, it's your principal. They're the ones that decide how many guys you get. They're the ones that decide what your left, right lateral limits are. They're the ones that decide how many assets you get. They decide how safe they want to be, right? We'll protect them to the best of our ability inside the perimeters that they allow us to. And that's the reality of the game. You bring too much protection to the game and they don't want it, they'll just find someone else who will do it the way they want to do it. So ultimately they are responsible in a way. But when it comes to the operation on the ground, it is our responsibility to make sure that we stand fast, that we let them know what our recommendations are, and that we let them know the risks associated with the decisions that they're making before they make those decisions. When you're going into a venue, when you have, you're going to be engulfed and surrounded by people, the level of risk goes through the roof, and the ability of even some of the best protectors in the world to be able to protect you when you are surrounded by unknown people like this is greatly diminished. So you're just in this whole entire situation. From the first frame of this video, it looks like they have failed before even beginning because they have no concentric rings of protection. There's no inner cordon of protectors around the protectee or principal. There's no external cordon. Many times you'll have a close protection team that should be forming a bubble around that principal, that should be laced in between everyone who's even in that environment, right? Then there's an external cordon of like local law enforcement that is going to make sure we keep the greater crowd at bay, that only people that are vetted or trusted or are appropriate for the occasion can make it in to approach the inner cordon, right? And the reality of this is that none of that is happening. And so the principal is extremely vulnerable, and the security team has given up their tactical advantage, either because they don't know any better or because the principal has said, the person they're protecting has said, I don't care, I'm going into the crowd, which happens, right? So now we see the bad actor stab him in the throat in the middle of public, right? And at this time, it's already too late and everyone is in a reactionary posture. Another tactic we use with the inner and outer cordon is having guys in plain clothes mixed in the crowd that are running behavioral profiling and They're trying to catch the enemy in their hostile planning cycle. So they're looking for those people that are not, that are standing out in the crowd. They're looking for bulges and waists. They're looking for people that have predator eyes rather than are like happy to see the principal, right? I'm gonna try to make this quick and get you a lot of information here. Now that the attack has taken place, yes, the assailant has been captured, but the damage has already been done. The protectee is on the floor. Now we go into the medical posture, which outlines the understanding of competent executive protection operations, competent close protection operations, but then also your medical skills. You have to have your medical skills. Do you know what to do? How to stabilize this person while waiting for your first responders or EMS or getting them to the next safe location? It looks like they've placed the principal on the ground and they're still in the middle of the crowd. I don't know whether or not they've secured this casualty collection point, but that's the next thing you need to do. You need to get to your next known safe location, and then you need to begin as quickly as you can dealing with this medical emergency. You need to do both of them simultaneously, right? So you need to be in a secure environment. As you see the protectees on the floor, who's around? Is there a perimeter around this person? Do we know if all the bad actors in the area have been pushed away? These are considerations. So there's so much more I can say on this, but that's just my 5-minute tactical protection review. Field note is make sure you have your inner outer cordons set when you're going into these public environments. Make sure you have physical barriers set when you're going into these public environments. Make sure you have a plan when you're going to these public environments. If you're using law enforcement, local law enforcement, sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not very good, and you can't depend on them. So keep those considerations close. And then if there is an emergency, always have a plan for your evac, your CASEVAC, medevac, whatever it is. More to come on this, but I want to encourage you guys to come train with us, man. Go to epspecialist.com. Let's make this next year the best year of your executive protection career. I'm sorry to see this turn out this way for these guys. More to come. Protector by nature and by trade. Boom.
Boom. If you're enjoying this video, go to epspecialist.com to take your executive protection career to the next level or to get in the game. Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade.